Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jean-Marc from Funding Gates. And today what we're going to discuss is how to create customer scorecard. And when you're extending credit to customers and you're also managing the ongoing relationship with your existing customers, it's important to track their credit risk, i.e. their financials, etc., over time so that you can be proactive if you need to adjust the invoice terms or the credit limit on your customer accounts. And here what we're going to discuss is how to create a credit scorecard essentially from scratch. And so basically the financial scorecard of a customer consists of 5 main segments. One is the financial strength, the credit scores, financial information, the quality of the management team, and then the industry, geography, and overall market conditions where the customer is operating. And so you can see here, these are the 5 main categories. You assign a score of 0 to 100 to each category, and we're going to go through how to do that. And then you assign a weight to each category, and then you get a weighted rating. And this weighted rating will tell you in which credits risk bucket the customer falls into. So basically, first, keep things organized, right? Write down the name of the customer, the company, the person, email, phone number, contact information, and then who is basically assessing the credit risk of this customer in your team, right? So keep things organized and in a file. Then the first category is the financial strength, right? So make sure you look at a couple things. One is the working capital of the customer, right? Whether it's positive and steady, positive but no growth, barely breaking even, negative or declining. The debt to equity ratio of the customer, i.e. does the customer have enough cash flows and equity to cover its existing loans on its books, right? Cash flows, whether it's positive and accelerating, whether it's steady, no growth, negative or declining, right? And the debt to equity ratio 1 to 1, 1.5 to 1, etc. So basically you can assign a band, right? From 0 to 10, as shown over here, and then you give it a score, right? So a score of 8 if the working capital is positive and steady growth, a 10 if the debt to equity ratio is 1 to 3, a 10 if the cash flows is positive and accelerating, okay? Then there's the quick ratio, right? So how well the company can cover its liabilities with its most liquid assets, i.e. cash, right? Taking out any inventory, which is illiquid. And if the company has a score, a quick ratio of 1.5 to 1 to 2 to 1, it has a score of 8, right? So again, you give it a band from 0 to 10. Cash conversion, how quickly is the company able to convert its working capital into cash flows, right? Basically, as soon as possible is a score of 10. Within 90 days, it's 8. Within 180 to 365 days, it's a 6, et cetera, right? And then how late is the company paying its creditors, right? So you again give it a band from 0 to 10 and you assign it a score. And then you sign up, you basically add up all the scores for each of the segments within the financial strength category, 8, 10, 8, and then over here, right? And you get a total score for financial strength of 54. The next category is credit scores. And here are a couple of the main credit scores, right? Personal as well as commercial. You have the FICO score, right? Again, a band from 0 to 10. If the FICO score is 740 to 850, you give it a score of 10. If the score is 680 to 740, you give it a score of 8, etc. Then there's a TransUnion, right? Score. These are personal scores basically. And then these over here are commercial business scores, Experian and DNB, okay? So basically for every credit score, you give it your own score depending on what the score is of the customer, right? So 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and that gives you a total score of 40 for credit scores. Then there's the financial information. Is the financial information clean and up to date, right? How recent is the financial information? How many years has the company been in business? Again, you might not have this data or this financial information on customers, especially small businesses, right? But then just use this one here. How many years has this company been in business, right? And how recent is its financial information? You can find that out on the phone calls, for example, if you get some unaudited statements or, statements from the customer's accountant, for example, right? And then you can, again, assign a score based on where the customer falls, and you add them all up, and that gives you a score of 30 for the financial information. Then there's the quality of the management team. How many years of experience does the management team have? You know, the quality of its financial systems, right? How long has the team been around, right? And then you can also assign a score to each of those segments over here, add them all up. That gives you a score of 24. And then the overall market environment, industry, macroeconomic, basically environment of the customer, right? You know, is the industry accelerating or declining, geographic risk, etc., right? So you can assign a score here and then add it up, and that gives you a score of 12 for the market environment and geography. And then you add it all up, right? So you have here financial strength. We saw that the total rating of all the different segments within the financial strength category was 54. For credit scores, it was 40, financial information was 30, and so on. And then you assign it a weight. You multiply the rating by the weight to give you a weighted rating for each category. And then you add it all up, and you see that this customer falls into the above average risk bucket, right? Because it has a weighted rating of 40. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the series, and stay tuned for more content.